Hello, everyone. This is Sukanya Potter. I'm from King's College London, and it is a great pleasure to be able to introduce our new project with the Creating Safer Spaces network at Aberystwyth. Um, we are leading a small grant funded project through this network on unarmed civilian protection for collective impact. And we are using a case study learning from the JOS Stakeholders Center for Peace. And we are using this model to be able to address issues of insecurity, of civilian protection, of learning, knowledge transfer, advocacy, and capacity building in Maiduguri in northeastern Nigeria around unarmed civilian protection. Briefly speaking, in terms of the project team, I am overall in uh, leadership and management of this as PI. We have two further Nigerian partners, Joaquim Jacob Choji, who leads the Youth Initiative Against Violence and Human Rights Abuse, small NGO, but he's also one of the coordinators or has been historically with UCP, and he's also very active with the Youth Peace and Security Agenda in Nigeria, including through the Plateau Peacemakers Network. And we are very fortunate to have on our team a well-known feminist, um, human rights defender in Maiduguri, Hamsatu Haja Alamin, who leads the Alamin Foundation for Peace and Development. We also have Ibrahim Jida, who will be a consultant, a mental health nurse, who will be a consultant of this project. In terms of briefly summarizing what the project is about, this is about addressing issues of civilian agency and civilian self protection in the context of communal conflicts. In JOS, for example, there's division, ethno religious, between Muslim and Christian communities, which has historically seen escalation of localized violence. And therefore, we want to learn from various infrastructures that have been built around civilian protection or protection infrastructures and local experiences of implementing unarmed civilian protection because there's not as much research and literature on this. So we are particularly interested in how safe spaces are being created in the context of intercommunal cleavages in JOS North. And of course, we use the example, the case study of the JOS Stakeholder Center for Peace. One of the things I want to emphasize is there's quite a bit of attention being given in this project on intergenerational collaboration, because through this network or through the Center for Peace, there are various stakeholders who are taking part in community security initiatives, including young people, older people, including women, business groups. So this is quite a diverse interaction of important stakeholders. So one of the things that we will do is create a short documentary from JOS, speaking to the various participants and the various groups who are active within the JCP, and use this through various mobile documentary screenings in communities around Maiduguri in Borno State, northeastern Nigeria. So we are doing inter-regional learning and advocacy, capacity building, training around unarmed civilian protection, because there is an opportune moment in Maiduguri in terms of return of internally displaced, in terms of particular normalization in the conflict between the Boko Haram and the state. So there is an opportunity for creating both awareness of and also implementing around unarmed civilian protection. Okay, so the aim is therefore to prevent conflict escalation and violence that has been directed at civilians in northeastern Maiduguri, in the northeast in Maiduguri, and also creating, reflection and sharing around unarmed community security initiatives that we've seen in JOS. So as mentioned, in terms of UCP, there are three pillars that we develop: insights on nonviolence, relationship building, and primacy of the local. Some of these photos are actually from communities around JOS that we will do primary, research on, including engaging stakeholders. And as some of us, who have worked in communal conflicts, would know that these become quite quickly insecure spaces with retaliatory attacks between minority majority groups. Houses are often burnt, they become no-go areas. And with the JCP, funding has been sourced to various NGOs like Tear Fund Nigeria, Search for Common Ground, And community leaders or influencers have been trained as breaking the borders ambassadors, and they have used social control mechanisms to check everyday violence networks of various politically aligned vigilantes and thugs. And there's evidence of this in previous research done by Jana Kraus, for example, in Davinkova, where retaliatory attacks were curbed in 2010 by not allowing young people to leave their homes, and instead unarmed youth patrols were instituted. So we will be looking at various communities around just like Rafinpa, Bible Faith, Balakazai, where these early warning, early response mechanisms have been put in place. This particular picture is of Angan Damisa, where there's this stream dividing the Christian and Muslim communities, and where we see joint security patrols have been instituted in non-violent citizen attacks, non-violent citizen arrests, interfaith meals, various ways for building cohesion and reducing or curbing any incidents of conflict escalation has been um, evidenced. Thank you very much for your time.